Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a foundation page of my December album today for Bramble Fox. I'm using the December Fox box and those super duper cute little gnomes. Okay, so anyone who's been following along with my December album this year, I've skipped forward a bit to day 20. Ignore the page on the left hand side there, number 19, that is coming in a video tomorrow. What I'm doing now is I'm skipping forward to day 20. I've already done the other pages but just not shared them yet. They'll be up very shortly as soon as I can process the video. I had a situation where I lost my voice for a week and I really couldn't record any videos. So anyway, I'm on day 20. I'm using the December Fox box and the two gnomes, and I'm creating a cut file page here. Unfortunately, when I was making this, I didn't have my December Fox box. It hadn't arrived. It got lost in the post for about 10 days it took to arrive, which is a real shame. I was waiting and waiting and waiting. I was like, oh, it's still not here. And we was really hoping that it wasn't completely lost. But thankfully it did show up. Goodness knows where it's been, around the country, I think. So anyway, I made this page without it and then just added the gnomes in at the end. But this whole page was planned around those two gorgeous little cute gnomes. And this cut file. I've got a cut file by Peartree Cut Files here that I'm going to use. So what I'm doing, this layout is going to be outside of the page protector. So I have cut my cardstock to, instead of 6 by 8, it's something like, let me measure it, 6 3/4 to allow for the binding on the left hand side. 6 3/4 by 8, or 8 by more like 8 1/4 to be honest. Okay, so I've cut my page like that because it's a page that's not going to actually have a photo on. It's just because the cut file takes up so much of the room. The whole design of this layout will be about the cut file. Instead of a photo, I've created a pocket. So I've cut two pieces of card to that big size, these 6 3/4 by 8, and I've cut one in white, which is the one you see there, and one in pink, and I've backed them together and then I've sewn them along 3 sides. So I've left the right hand side open to form a pocket. I've then punched holes in the left, and then inside the pocket is a piece of pattern paper which is smaller than the size of the pocket, obviously. Hold on, let me measure it. It is 5 3/4 by 7 1/2, and that will hold my photos and journaling for the day. And of course it's double-sided. Well, actually at the moment it's just Christmas trees on one side and plain on the back, but I can add another piece of paper on the back, or I can just embellish and whatever. So that is how I'm going to insert my photo, and that's the reason it's outside of the page protector, because I wouldn't be able to pull the pocket out to the right if it was inside a plastic page protector. So okay, here's my little cute gnome. I have backed him using papers from Crepe Paper Haze Santa. I have done his legs in red. I've done his hat in like a reddy pink. His beard is glitter, so it's a white glitter paper that I've had in my stash for years, and then I've got a little bit of pink for the nose. That is Cocoa Vanilla Merry and Bright. What I'm doing now is and the bell is backed in gold glitter. Okay, so and now what I'm doing is after I've backed him completely, I'm just piercing holes all the way around all elements, and I'm going to do some stitching. So I've got there we go, all stitched now, like magic, all stitched. So I've done white around the beard, I've done red around the red feet, I've done light pink around the nose, and I've done dark pink around the hat. So super duper adorably cute cut file here. I absolutely love these little gnomes. They're just so cute. This cut file is from Peartree Paper Crafts, or Peartree Cut Files even, he was in a set of 3, and I chose this one because he was different from the other 2 gnomes that I was going to be using on this layout, the 2 gnomes from the Bramble Fox box, December Fox box. One has horizontal stripes on his hat, and the other one has spots. So this cut file has vertical stripes on his hat, so I deliberately did that so that I had 3 different gnomes, or 3 different hats on this layout. So there we go. I love him. He's so cute, absolutely adorable. Okay, so he's just going to sit there. I've got my number. That's just a printed number that I've made digital and then cut out, print and cut, and then I've backed it in a piece of in a circle of gold glitter, and then over to the right, well actually on the left hand page, which you can't see right now, page 19, that was a white on white layout, and so that will be up tomorrow, but I wanted to bring in some elements from the white on white page so that it would match, because this is obviously a double spread. So I wanted to bring in some of the little branches that I use on that layout. So they're a die cut by Sizzix, I think, Tim Holtz branches or leaves or foliage or something like that. So I've just cut a few of those on my big shot and just clustered those to the bottom right, along with my number, a little sticker that says Very Merry, and a gold star, and then I also bring in some more stars for the background, but I'll do that later after I've done my title. So right now obviously I'm going to go with that classic title, just hanging with my gnomies. I obviously had this in mind when I started, when I planned this layout, and I'm using the crepe paper Hey Santa thickers for this, and unfortunately they are quite big, and of course my December album is quite small, you know, being 6x8, it's not a huge page like a 12x12, so I get to this point and I can't fit in gnomies, which is really annoying, but I knew that would happen. I could have brought my letters up significantly, but then my gnomies, because it's a long word, would have gone over my gnome. It wouldn't have fitted over on the right hand side anywhere, so it's quite good that it ended up across the beard, because it fitted perfectly in there. So now what I'm doing is I'm just adding stars to the background. They are white stars. I say I cut out a load of stars for my previous layout, then day 19. Because this is a facing page, I wanted it to not match completely, but have some similarities. That's what I try to do in my double page spreads of my December album. So I've just brought in the foliage at the bottom right, and the stars I'm going to stick to the background. So white on white stars for the background. And it looks really lovely in real life. You can't see it too well on camera, unfortunately, but it does look, it's really effective actually, and I'm really pleased that I did it. I'm going to just get those stuck down now using my fine tip wet glue. Don't need very much, they're only tiny stars. I've got some bigger ones which are cut on my Big Shot die cutting machine, but most are cut on my Silhouette because they were the middles of a cut file that I used on the previous page, so I had millions of them left to use. Okay, so that's my layout complete, apart from my Bramble Fox gnomes that haven't arrived yet. Oh, actually, I'm just having to stick down my Gnomies title onto the, because it's glitter paper, nothing really sticks to it that well, so I'm just anchoring these down with the glossy accents. I would normally have sewn through with my sewing machine, but because this is a pocket page, if I'd sewn through, I would have ended up sewing the pocket together, which wouldn't have worked. Right, a couple of days later now, and my gnomes have arrived, along with those naughty elves. Can you see those elves? Mini album coming soon to a Bramble Fox channel near you. Give me a couple of weeks, or a week or so, and I'll have that done. Yeah, that's I'm so happy that my Fox box has arrived. It's so gorgeous, lots of wonderful things in it this month, and I've got those elves as well. They're just my favourite. I just had to have them out on my table to look at. Okay, that's my gnomes now in place. I'm just doing a minor adjustment to my pocket. I'm just rounding the corners because it wasn't sliding in and out very well, so I wondered if the rounded corners might help. And there it is in my album. Okay, all done. There's those cute gnomes. They're so adorable. Have a look at them on the close-ups. Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this foundation page, something slightly different from me to my normal layouts, especially as it's got no photos. They're those gnomes. Aren't they adorable? Okay, head over to the Bramble Fox store to pick up all the winter goodies over there. Thank you so much for watching. That was Nikki Rowland for Bramble Fox.